here. Today we're going to be doing a cross wreath. So I found this at Hobby Lobby and I think it's really cute. It has this like chicken wire in here, and this is going to be a great base for us to do a little arrangement right in the center. So we're going to use this. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to scroll down and we'll get started. Alright, so I have a lot of flowers. I have a little bit of Easter eggs and a little embellishments. I have a styrofoam square, so this is 4 by 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the back in the center, on the front in the center, and then we're going to have something to put our flowers through. Now we don't really need it to be this thick, so I'm going to cut this in half. So I've gotten this cut in half, so now we're going to put it on our cross, but first I want to cover it. So I have sheet moss, and this actually comes on a sheet. It comes in a roll like this. I just cut a piece, and what I want to do is I actually want to cover the sides, so I'm going to, almost like you're wrapping a present. So I'm just cutting the corners because it makes it a little bit easier to put on, but I would put it up here, push it down with a floral pin. Get this one, push it down with a floral pin, and then this one. Now what you can do is cut off these corners, and you're going to use them in the back, and I'll show you. Okay, so I cut my corners off, and then I will put a pin in that. So I try to put my pins up kind of high because we're going to be putting flowers in the sides, and so it's difficult if you hit a pin. So, alright, so once I get it covered, you see how it's covered? Then I want to go to my base. I'm going to flip it over. This is why I was so excited about this wire. So I'm just going to take my pins, I'm going to go right through this and grab that wire. This is going to hold down my styrofoam. I'm going to go in several different places. Make sure I get it in there nice and tight. Alright, once I get it loaded on there, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my bow. But I want to show you this about the back. So once I get all my pins on, I can take these little extra pieces that are left and I can glue them right over where my pins are and cover the back. Ta-da! So you're not going to be able to see where those pins are. Okay? You can also just take little pieces like this and glue them on. Either way, it works great. So, now that I have this done, I'm going to put this aside and we're going to work on our bow. So we're going to be making our bow with the Pro Bow. So what I do is I take wire and I cut it at 30 inches, and then I find the center. See, I've got this little loop here. So I find the center and fold it over. I do that with 2 pieces. So here I have 2 pieces. And the Pro Bow comes with this spool holder, which I love. So these are the ribbons we're going to be using. So we have this pink, blue, kind of yellowish green, then we have a yellow and a pink with the little eggs on it. And I'm going to tell you why you have to cut this. Okay, so you need to cut 2 of these. One is going to go around the entire bow, all of your loops. The other one is just going to go around the loops as you go. And I'm going to show you what that means. So we're going to use this 1.5 inch first. And what I'm going to do is measure out to the end of the board because I want my tails to be pretty long. I'm going to pinch it like I'm making a bow, and I'm going to wrap this wire around it, and then I'm going to twist it on there one time because I want it to be on this wire. You see that? Now, you're going to go on your board, hold your thumb with this finger, and wrap the wire around the top. Now this is the one that's going to go around the whole bow. So you're wrapping it on the top so it stays out of the way. And you take the bottom, you wrap it around the nail at the bottom, lift up your board, and put that down. So that just keeps it out of the way. And as you're loading your ribbons on, when you get done, you see this one is at the very back. So it's going to go around all those loops and hold your bow together. Alright, so I'm going to use this middle peg. You don't really have to. I have it set on C, which is at the farthest is about the 6-inch loop. I like to have the little middle, so I'm going to go around that middle with my ribbon, come back to the end. I'm going to pinch it like I would be doing with any bow. And then I'm going to take the second piece of wire. And what I'm going to do with this second piece of wire is I'm going to run it behind this first piece of wire so that my wire is in between the ribbon and the peg. And the reason I do that is because when I come here and I twist this, I'm going to twist this one time, and I'm going to have one up and one down. And what that's going to do is that's going to hold this together. So if I need to get up and walk out of the room and go somewhere else, it's not going to be a problem. It's going to stay where I put it. Now I like to take my tails and push them up. Alright, so once I have that going, I'm going to go around my next loop, come back to the center, twist it, do my next loop, come back to the center, pinch it, twist it. So this is very much like just making a regular bow. You're just doing it on the Pro Bow. My little peg popped up. Not a problem. Okay, so I get back to the center, twist it, go back around the last one, back to the center, pinch and twist. Okay, and that's the last piece I'm going to do. So I'm going to pull it out here, cut it off, and then I will take this wire again and I will go up and I will go down. And see, that holds this. Now I'm going to put that back up. This holds this ribbon in place. So that's really the purpose of this second one. The purpose of the second one is just to hold your ribbon in place. Okay? That's why you want to keep one up and one down, because it just makes it easier to find it. Alright, so next we're going to do, and if I didn't tell you, this is the top of the bow, this is the back of the bow. So that's why we have our loops coming up here. So I'm going to do that with the next one, with the pink. So I'm going to pinch it, pull it out to the end, measure it, pinch it, and see, this is when we're going to load it onto this wire. Up and down, like that. Okay, we're going to go around our first loop, come back to the center, pinch it, twist it. I like to take my tails and put them up there. And so you see you're twisting it to get that pretty side up. So that's why you do that. So come back to the center, pinch it, twist it. One more. So pinch it, twist it, go around that peg, come back. So pinch it, twist it. All right, and then I'm going to go up and down. That holds that bow on. Then I can trim off this edge here. Then we'll do my last one. So you see, I'm always facing my ribbon this way. So the ugly side's in the back. All right, so I will pinch it like I have the others. And I'm going to load it onto this wire that I have going up and down. One up, one down. Load it on there. Put my tail up here. Then I'm going to go around my first one. Come back to the center. Pinch it. Push my second tail up. Or my first tail up. Pinch and twist. Okay, go around that second peg. Come back to the center. Pinch and twist. Around the next peg, back to the center, pinch, twist, last peg, back to the center, pinch, and twist. Alright, then I can take this wire again and go up and down. I'm going to twist it one time this time. Alright, now, so you see what the purpose of that second wire is. It's just to hold these ribbons as you're progressively going down. You can do it after each loop, or you can just do it after each ribbon section. I tend to do it after I get done with one type of ribbon. Now, what you're going to do next is you're going to take this bow off. So you undo the bottom, and you untwist the top. Okay. Now look, you see that? That wire is going around the entire ribbon. So you absolutely have to have that. That is essential. That's like, you know, putting your wire on when you're making a bow at any time. Alright, so I like to take my two pieces and put them together and twist this, make sure I've got it secured, and then I just kind of stick my hand under and pop it out like that. Alright, it's not real pretty when you first take it out, but we're going to put it down on our little board, and we're going to pull it out and make it look pretty, and then we're going to start back on our cross. Alright. Whoops, my fluff box. So this is just a heavy box. It has a little eye hook in the middle and a little nail over here on the side. So when I get my bow out, I like to make sure that it is as tight as I can get it. Okay, once I make sure it's nice and tight, I will go around this hook and I will tie it to this little nail. So if you want to make your own, that's what you would need. A little hook in the center and a little nail over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold and cut away from me to make a dovetail, just to have that more professional look. You could also cut it at an angle if you prefer. I just like this look. Alright. So once I have that done, I'll start pulling out my bow. So I'll pull my tails in opposite directions. Here, here, here. Okay. This is our center bow, and then you start pulling these in opposite directions. So that's all you're doing. You're just pulling your little loops out in opposite directions so that your bow is full, and so that you can see all your ribbon. So there we go. Got a nice little bow. Move your tails around so that they're not all in the same spot. There we go. And once you have your bow fluffed up, nice. I just like to stick my fingers in there and fluff out that little loop. Then you can just take it right back off. Okay. Pull it out from that little hook. And I can put that away. Alright. Then you can bring your cross back. And I'm just going to take my wires. I'm going to put it right in the center of that styrofoam. And I'm going to go through this wire here. You see how awesome it is to have this wire, because it really kind of makes things a little more convenient. So I'm just going to take it around here. I'll make sure it's centered and where I want it to be. And once I'm sure I do have it, I'm going to tie it down nice and tight. Okay. Make sure it's on there good. Alright. Then I will trim this off. And just as a little added incentive, I'm going to put another floral pin right around where my wire is. So you really can't see my wire because it's green like the moss. Okay. Alright. So then you can just play with your bow a little bit more. Get it to where you want it to be. You see, I still want to be able to see this in the background. That's why we didn't make our bow so big. So, just kind of move things around. Make sure I can still see the cross. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start figuring out what flowers I want to put in here. Okay. That pretty, I like that. Alright. So I have all different kinds. So I like this. So what I do if I'm going to use something like this is I will take this leaf and I will push it up. Whoops. Not quite that far. I will push it up on. Alright, here we go. So I will push it up to where my flower is, because I still want to see some of that greenery. Then I'll cut it off and let's see how much we need. Yeah, that's good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take some flowers and some things like that, and we're just going to put them right in to this styrofoam. So that's why you put the styrofoam on it. So I like these. These look very delicate and the color's very pretty. So just trim some off. This one looks like it's missing some flowers, so we'll do this one. Okay. Okay, maybe one more. Alright. Alright, so I just go through so I just go through and cut several of these up. So see, we have our little purple. We want some of our green. So we have this. These are really cute. I don't know if we're going to use those little reeds because that might be a little bit longer than I want it to be. So I may just push it up to have this here. Yeah. Because the reed makes it go longer than I want it to go out from my bow. So I just take that off. This one has some really cute things. It has these little balls on it. So I'll cut some of these. See, what we're going to do is we're going to have it coming. You want different lengths. So you want some close, some far away. Alright, we've got a couple. Let's cut one more green. Let's see. So I will save the rest of this because I'll use it on other projects. And I always save things like these because you never know when you might use them. Alright, so we've got some green. Alright, we've got another purple. Okay. So we can cut. Oh, this has an interesting leaf on it. So that's pretty. Cut a couple of these. Okay. So if you need to, you can, when you get it on here, you can push some of the leaves back down if you need to cover some towards the base. That's why I push them up. Make sure I get some in there. Okay, we have yellow. I like these. These are pretty. And they're kind of delicate. So these leaves just have a little place up near the flower. So I'll just make sure I have one with that on it. Okay. See, that's pretty. Alright, so once I do that, so I've got this much cut. Okay, so I got some pink flowers. I'm going to put a little pink in there. Okay. Alright. Then I have this cute little pick. So when you have a pick like this, you can keep it together. You can break it apart. Okay. So I'm going to put this in two different parts. So this part and this part. Let's see. All right. There we go. And I have some little eggs here. These pretty colors. So I specifically got ones that had wire because we're using this styrofoam, so it's better to have wire to go into. So I'll cut some of this off. All right. Alright. I'm going to keep this orange one because we don't really have any orange in here. Alright. So now what I will do is I'm going to start putting some things in. So it doesn't really matter where you start, you just want to pick something and just start. Okay, once I figure out where I want to put it, I'm going to take some glue, just put a little glue on it, and then stick it in, like that. Do you see that? So I'm going to do one down here. Alright. Whoop, I don't need that. Okay. So you see how I'm kind of putting it opposite. There we go. Okay. So now I'll just start putting some other colors in. So we have a lot of colors to put in, so you can just kind of figure out where you want to put them. Okay. I'm just sticking it in right in the styrofoam. So there's nothing magical about this part. You just want to get it in your styrofoam. Okay. If you have trouble because your wire is not very sturdy, you can always get some of the little floral picks, or if you have a pick machine, you can use that. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to put these so they're kind of peeking out from underneath the bow. And this part you just really just want to keep loading it until you're happy with it. So there's no right or wrong way when you start putting all your little flowers and things on. It's really just personal preference. Okay. You see how that kind of gives it some up close? Then you want some, of course, sticking out. That gives it more volume. Okay. I like to put things going down, going up. That helps as well. Okay. All right. So I just keep going until I get everything loaded in. Let's see. Let's put some up here. There we go. All right. Alright, we have a little bit more purple here. There we go. Okay. Let's see, let's put some green down here. Now, of course, if you have an electric skillet or if you have a glue pot, you can use that instead of your glue gun. You see how pretty that's looking? So then once I start getting things loaded in, what I do is I will a lot of times hang it up. So you can get these very inexpensive little tripods, and so I will just kind of set it on the tripod, and then I will look at it and say, okay, is it missing anything? Does it look like it's well rounded? Does it look like there's any areas where I'm missing something that I need to add in? So that's what I do. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's really easy to just go over there and grab one. And then I just start seeing where I needed to add a little bit extra. So what I do when I am working with florals is I like to draw an imaginary line. So in this one it's a circle like this, and so I'm looking, does everything fit within the circle? Are there any areas where it feels like there's too much, there's not enough? So like right here, it feels like it's a little bare. So I will just grab some more. And put a little bit in. Like that. So it looks like I need something right there. So let's see what we have. So we can do a little, oh, I think we have pink. Let's see. I think I'll add in just a little bit of yellow there. Okay. Okay. There we go. Whoop. All right. So now you see it doesn't look like we have big bare spots. So that's what you're trying to do when you're doing one of these. You just keep adding until it looks like you have a nice amount that covers everything. So okay. There we go. All right. So you don't want to add so much that you can't see the cross that's beneath it at all. So you can still see some of the cross over here and a little bit up here and then some down here. So that's what you want. And there you have it. There is an Easter cross. So I've had several people request that I do this. So I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, let me pull this up. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this and that it will give you an idea of something you can do. And you know, you can just keep adding or you can stop at any time. It's really just personal preference. So I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave me a comment if there's something you would like to see me do. I have a lot more planned coming up, so I hope you will come back and watch those. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.